Hey, what's up, folks? My name is Brian Henderson, and I'm a tenured professor at Arizona State University, both in the College of Education and also in the Department of Physics. And I want to welcome you to general physics. Now, I mentioned the education aspect of things. In addition to getting my research start in astrophysics, I've actually spent a lot of time studying the brain and how people learn stuff, and more specifically, how people learn science. And so, my hope is what I've learned about how people learn might help me be effective in supporting you in this course. And so, one of the things I think that is very important for learning is that the student has a very clear sense of all the aspects of the course, what's expected of them, what's required. And so, a big part of this welcome message is an encouragement to you to try to take a look at all the moving parts of this course. I have really taken care to try to document each and every aspect of this course. And so please take a look at the syllabus. Please take a look at the course schedule. Please take a look at how your grade is calculated. Take a look at all the aspects of this course. And then, by all means, if you still have questions, don't hesitate to reach out to the instructional team. It is paramount that it is clear to you what's expected of you in this course. And so when you're looking over the course materials, you're going to find this idea of flexible deadlines. And so I wanted to spend a few moments explaining the flexible deadlines issue. So I believe wholeheartedly that we need to be respectful of each person's unique schedules. I know that all of us have got a lot of other things going on in our lives in addition to these classes that are being taken. So I want to be respectful of your unique schedules. At the same time, though, it's my responsibility as an instructor, and particularly an instructor of physics, that I support you in moving on a gradual, incremental pace. And that's because the ideas of physics build upon the other ideas of physics. It's not a bunch of random ideas. It's not a bunch of random ideas that you can cram the night before, say, a test. In order to understand the more nuanced aspects of physics, you must first understand the more fundamental aspects of physics. So, for example, it's not going to make as much sense to think about motion in 2 dimensions unless you first think about motion in 1 dimension. And when you get to the concept of force is a lot easier to make sense of if you first have an understanding of motion. When you get into the concept of work, it's a lot easier to think of work if you first have a sense of what force is. But then again, it's a lot easier to think of what force is if you first have an understanding of what motion is. And so I believe it's my responsibility to encourage you and support you to move at a gradual pace, but at the same time, I want to respect your schedules. So here's how I'm going to try and do it. You're going to see that with various assignments, there are due dates that are posted, but I want to underscore those are suggested due dates. I've built into the system the ability to turn in assignments after the suggested due dates, and you'll still get treated as if those were turned in on time, okay? So that being said, remember, I want to move you along at a somewhat gradual, successive pace. So here's how I'm going to try to thread the needle. While you can turn in assignments late and not be penalized, those assignments are only going to be available for a certain amount of time. And so here's the general rule of thumb. Make sure when you're looking over the course materials, you take a look at the due dates, okay? And again, those are suggested due dates. You're also going to notice that when it comes to exams are going to be open for a certain window of time, okay? And so here's the thing. If you're working on an assignment and you're wondering, okay, well, what's the latest possible time I can turn it in? Just look to see when the next exam is. Whenever that next exam is, you can technically turn in any preceding assignments in without being penalized for late work until that next exam closes. Once that next exam closes, those assignments aren't going to be available anymore, okay? Now, once you complete that next test and you're working on the next batch of materials, look and see when the following test is, okay? And whenever that following test closes, that's when those materials can no longer be turned in. So again, when you see due dates, know that those are suggested due dates. They're suggested to move you along at a gradual rate. However, I want to be respectful of your schedules, so if you turn in assignments past those suggested due dates, you will not be penalized for late work. Now, there's also a lot of platforms that have been built into this system to promote student interaction. I'm a firm believer that learning can be deeper when it's interactive. And so I'm very much looking forward to interacting with many of you through these platforms. And so welcome to General Physics. I wish you all the best in this class. Feel free to reach out at any time if there's any way myself or the instructional team can help you. And let's get started.